Hello, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Techverse. Today we would be discussing about service-based and product-based companies. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, and please do because I daily post off-campus job update videos, technology-related videos and placement tip suggestion videos. Do consider subscribing to my channel because that motivates me to bring a variety of amazing and useful content videos to all of you. So let's start with today's discussion. Choosing the right company is a must as your entire career will depend on the skills you learn and the abilities you have. Everyone wants to be in a company that helps in improving their skills and provides you a better learning environment. Before choosing your dream company, almost every student comes across the question that should I choose a product-based company or a service-based company? Also, what exactly do product-based companies and service-based companies mean and how to get into these? The biggest confusion among the students is that the top tech giants such as Google, Amazon, etc. hire only students from IITs or NITs, which is the biggest myth. If you have the ability, and you have the desired skills, then you can get into your dream company even after being from a Tier 3 college. All you need is hard work and consistency. Even if you get selected in service-based companies, it's still good because you can gain some experience of how exactly things work in corporate world, and later you can shift to a product-based company of your choice. Firstly, let's make something very clear. Core companies are companies which offer jobs in core areas of engineering like electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, etc. Core companies specialize in particular sectors like the infrastructure sector, and such companies are valued and known for their level of expertise in their respective areas of specialization. If you are an electronics and communication engineer, TCS or CTS might not be a core company for you unless they are offering you a role related to your specialization, which is electronics and communication, but Tata Communications might be a core company for you. The number of options available is wide. One has to choose the type of company that best suits their ideologies and method of working. Primarily, companies are categorized as product-based companies and service-based companies. They both differ in the type of tasks they undertake and methods of working. Nevertheless, their ultimate aim is to serve the consumers in every way possible. Let us understand what product-based and service-based companies are, and what makes them unique. To put it in simple words, a service-based company is like a restaurant and a product company is like an ice cream parlor. If you are wondering, both of them are places where you go and have delicious food, then how are they different? You usually go to a restaurant and order something and then the food is prepared to suit your taste, whereas in an ice cream parlor you usually pick your favorite flavor from a list of flavors that they already have. In other words, service-based companies build software or products only when a customer approaches them and asks for a software to be authored according to his needs. A product company, on the other hand, already has a product which they sell to a wide range of customers or clients. Product-based companies are the ones that are focused on producing or introducing products that have a high market value and are capable enough to satisfy the customer. The important aspect of these companies is to produce top-quality products. These companies constantly improve the products with new features and upgrades using different and new technologies that are at their disposal. Service-based companies are the ones that give customers or clients a solution in the form of amenities, any desirable feature, skills, and/or expertise based on their needs. The important aspect of this type of company is the client. They do not prepare anything specific before the problem arises at the client's end. Their sole aim is to ensure that the service provided to the client is of the best quality. Let's look at the difference between product and service-based companies based on various categories. Product-based companies are the companies that have their own products to sell. Examples are Google, Alphabet, Facebook, Adobe, etc., whereas service-based companies may or may not have their products, but their primary business is service. They work for other organizations, or we can say they are clients of product-based companies. Examples are Infosys, Wipro, TCS, Cognizant, etc. Product-based companies hire a very limited number of candidates from top colleges like IITs and NITs, and they generally don't conduct campus placements in Tier 3 colleges. Whereas service-based companies are the mass recruiters in campus placements. Product-based companies provide high salaries and hike, also the salary is revised based on the cost of living. Whereas service-based companies these provide comparatively less salary and hike. Product-based companies conduct more interview rounds, cracking interviews is a bit difficult than service-based companies. Whereas in service-based companies cracking interview is relatively easy and has few rounds. In product-based companies the learning curve is good, optimized, and efficient means are used. Also, you get to work on the latest technologies. Whereas in service-based companies a learning curve is average. Generally, they put freshers into support projects where the chances are that one does not have the choice to select his/her domain. Product-based companies has flexible office timings, all you need to do is finish your work in the given time frame. Whereas service-based companies has strict office timings, around 7 to 9 working hours per day. Let's look at a few differences that will help you clearly decide between product-based companies and service-based companies. 1. Hiring candidates. Product-based companies usually hire candidates who have very good domain knowledge and who are familiar with the latest tools and technology. Communication skills may not really matter when it comes to the recruitment process. This only means that you need not have to be good enough to sell the product, unless you are applying for a marketing or a sales role, but you should be fluent enough to convey your ideas effectively. If you are aspiring to get into a service-based company, and your communication skills will be as important as your technical knowledge. In some cases, you will be expected to have extremely good marketing skills and interpersonal skills to be hired for a role in a service-based company. Even how you dress and how you present will decide if you get the job or not. It's necessary for a service-based company to hire well-groomed candidates who also have good communication skills, as they have to deal with the clients. 2. Job security and work pressure. According to various surveys, job security is usually higher in product-based companies than service-based companies, but an employee in a service-based company feels more pressure due to the tight deadlines and targets. Recently, it has been observed that service companies tend to hire in large numbers these days, and after the training period, most of the hired candidates are benched for several months. This is part of the reason why job security is less in service-based companies and part-time jobs aren't usually available in service-based firms, whereas product-based companies usually offer part-time jobs and internships. However, all of this is very subjective and it could differ from company to company. Let's now discuss pros and cons of product-based companies. Pros. 1. Scalability. Production is relatively easier and does not necessarily require additional employees, office space, etc. As the prototype would be ready, scaling up will not be a tedious task until money flows in for the development. 2. Creativity. Although the customer's view matters, the production of an entirely new product is still viable. Aligned with the company's aim, an employee will have complete freedom to design something of their interest and push it towards the market. 3. Ownership. A product, once sold, becomes the property of the consumer. However, the creator has the right to claim intellectual property for creating the product. 4. Revenue. With the help of the marketing team and expertise, the creator can generate a lump sum of money on the products. 5. High valuation. With time and performance, the capital of the company increases drastically. A company whose initial investment is around $10,000 might value in millions. They involve public through initial public offering, IPO, and let the public be a shareholder in their companies. Let's talk about cons. 1. Gamble. The risk involved in these types of companies is high. A new product launch may not be successful and deals a lot of loss to the company. 2. Investment. Product-based companies require money up front. They require investment from scratch until the product reaches the market. 3. Customer service. The employees have to lend their ears to customers for constant feedback on their products. This can be time-consuming and delays the process of production. 4. Monotonous work. The employees who work in a product-based company always work with the same role. There are very less chances of switching between domains. Let's now talk about pros and cons of service-based companies. Pros. 1. Initial investment. These kinds of companies do not need a high initial capital. They need to have enough money to handle the employees and overhead costs at the beginning. 2. New things on the table. Every client comes up with a unique problem, and thus, the work does not remain monotonous. There is also a possibility of changing roles at regular intervals. 3. Pre-existing market. The number of people who need solutions never ends. The market is always open. The only thing is to be prepared to deliver at any point. Let's talk about cons 1. Scalability. The scalability factor is low in service-based companies. The revenue is directly dependent on the billable hours and thus is slightly tedious to scale up if the initial investment is less. 2. Creativity. The space to be creative is less. The employees need to stick to the requirements of the clients and work as per their instructions. 3. Client meetings. Frequent meetings with the client and changes consumes a lot of time. This can turn in working overtime to complete the work on time. 4. Revenue. The revenue goes to a halt once the service is delivered and the next need arises. The more the short-term service, the lesser the revenue. In conclusion, there is an ocean full of companies and opportunities for one to get into. Depending on the interests, one can decide which among these two categories they need. While product-based companies seem to pay a lot, there isn't much work diversity. On the other hand, service-based companies contribute well to the economy with very tight working conditions. Both the categories have their ups and downs. One needs to understand the motive of the company, see if it aligns with their ideology, and then decide on where to step in. That's it for today's video. Hope you have liked this video. Feel free to share your thoughts through the comments section below. Do consider subscribing to my channel for more amazing content like this. See you all again in the next video. Thank you.